What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Truth and Transparency. The Tepe murders. Any reasonable doubt from McKee? We're going to talk about it. And it comes with reviewing a couple things for you guys really quick right here. I'm going to zoom in here. I want you guys to take a look. This is the paperwork that was filed. And something that I really want to zoom in on is, it says the Columbus Police Homicide Unit team, when they were advised, responded and initiated an investigation early on in the investigation. Investigators and detectives, they were advised by identifiable friends and family of Monique Tepe that Monique had told them her ex-husband, Dr. Michael D. McKee right here, had been abusive. Again, notice that they're just using the word abusive and not, physically abusive. It's just abusive. And had made numerous threats on her life during, and now keyword here, and after their marriage. So their marriage was officially over, signed papers in 2017. I'm curious if they're referring to truly after 2017 or if it was during that separation period. Now, this next one, it says, identifiable witness told detectives that Monique Tepe had shared an allegation against Michael McKee of forced unwanted sex and of strangulation. Now, and then it says another, so this is not the same person. Okay, so this person could not be this person because then it says another identifiable witness told detectives that Michael D. McKee had told Monique that he could kill her at any time. And would find her and buy the house right next to her, that she will always be his wife. All right, so let's talk about December 6th. December 6th, if you know anything about the Buckeyes, we're diehard football fans. On December 6th, if you were to get in a car and travel, you would go to Indianapolis and you would have went to the Ohio State, Indiana Big Ten championship game. Now, Monique did this and she got in a vehicle and she went and she traveled and they got a hotel room and they were with other couples. Okay. Something that I think is needs to be pointed out is the following. If Monique is saying at some point in time to a friend here, as it comes up in the next paragraph, about the friends never talked to Monique about it, but Spencer was the one that relayed why she went back to the hotel room and he stayed in the second half of the game. This was a nail biter. This was a very, very close game the whole way through. And then somebody's winning at the end. Okay. This is not a game that you're going to be like, oh God, we're blowing them out and I'm just going to leave because, I'm upset about something and blah, blah, blah. Right. A couple things I want to point out is, so hold on one second. Now, during the investigation, so this would have been within the 10 days, during the investigation, detectives were able to identify a suspect through neighborhood video surveillance. And it says during the investigation. So this suspect could have been identified day 1 to day 10 before they wrote this up. And it could have been from multiple days. And it's just like, we have this car here. We have this person that's kind of hiding themselves, things like that. And that's our suspect. Okay. So, here, this suspect was tracked to a vehicle which arrived just prior to the homicides and left shortly after the homicides. And remember, I said it's very interesting that they're not using any timestamps, any language with that. Video of this vehicle and very distinct features allowed detectives to identify both a stolen Ohio license as well as an Arizona license being displayed on it at different times. Further, searches show that this vehicle was to be associated was associated with a past this vehicle. Now it says this vehicle. What do you mean this vehicle? This vehicle that you've identified that's a silver SUV? So this type of vehicle has been associated with a past address of Michael McKee as well as his current work address. Additional video was obtained and showed McKee in possession of the vehicle prior to and after the homicide. That means there's video evidence of him getting in and out of this. Now, we're going to back out a little bit because I made this bigger for us. Okay. Now, detectives then, during their investigation, so this would be very, very important, okay? During their investigation between those day one of December 30th, okay, and then before they wrote this up, so any point in time during that time frame, detectives are getting information, they're going through a ton of video surveillance, and then one day of interest for them became this December 6th date, okay? This December 6th date. And why it became so of interest to them is because there was two things that happened on this day. Detectives also recovered video of the same suspect. So what they had working for them on the 29th or the 30th, they were like, on December 6th. So detectives also recovered video of the same suspect entering the curtilage of 1411 North 4th Street on December 6th and exiting a few hours later when the Tepes were away. Now, these dates, now it says these dates are consistent with video recovered of the silver SUV. When it says these dates, well, it's interesting that they put in the word these dates. Well, in this paragraph, you've only said one date. So you'd have to back up, go to back over here to, when it says like these dates, this date here is the only other date that's on here, right? See that? I personally think it's horrible writing, but these dates, to use the word, these dates are consistent with video recovered of the silver SUV and are consistent with dates that which Michael D. McKee was not on the schedule at St. Anthony's Hospital. So wait, let me get this straight. Are we trying to say then, because I had to go over this a couple different times because you have to be really, really careful here. I don't know if they meant to write these dates, but in this paragraph, we're only talking about one date here, which is detectives also recovered video of the same suspect entering the curtilage of 1411 North 4th Street on December 6th, 2025, and exiting a few hours later when they were not there. These dates, so based on them saying these dates, that means December 30th and December 6th, or December 30th and December 6th, these dates are consistent with video recovered of the silver SUV and are consistent with dates which Michael D. McKee was not on the schedule at St. Anthony's Hospital. So the reason I think this is important is this whole time when we're talking about he wasn't supposed to be on the schedule, okay? He wasn't on the schedule. That's where it's questionable for me with a couple things. I'm going to tell you why. Here. Upon reading that paragraph, you would think that this man is not on the schedule, right? Not on the schedule. What schedule, though? What about the on-call schedule? Does that include that? Okay. On January 9th, 2006, detectives seized the silver SUV bearing the Arizona temporary tag. They seized the SUV, the silver SUV bearing the temporary tag, the Arizona temporary tag, from the lot at St. Anthony's Hospital. This is the day before he was arrested. Okay. Detectives noticed fresh scrape marks on the window where the sticker, which had been on the vehicle prior to the homicides, had been hastily removed. So they're saying, which had been on the vehicle prior to the homicide. So check this out. That means the video that you have video showing that this vehicle had that sticker on. Now the question is okay. It means they're saying that when we got to it on January 9th, the sticker's gone, right? But they're saying, but that sticker was on the vehicle prior to the homicides. So you have video of it prior to December 30th. During the time of the homicides, Michael McKee's phone had been left at St. Anthony's Hospital in Rockford, Illinois. Now, let me ask you guys something. Why in the world would you leave, your phone at the hospital, right? You would leave your phone at the hospital knowing that I'm not on the schedule, right? But I'm just going to act like I needed on call and I ordered a cot and all this stuff, but I really wasn't on the schedule and I did all of that. So I really wasn't on call, but I just pretended to be on call because that's what I just told the detectives. Did I tell the detectives, hey, I was on call, I was at the hospital, knowing that they would check my phone records? Oh, yep. And then they would check what? The hospital, and they'd be like, oh no, but he wasn't on call. What? Like, think about that for a minute. Because I had to come back to this because I was like, oh, this is interesting to me. Now, going back over here. So again, during the time of the homicides, Michael's phone had been left, they're saying had been left at St. Anthony's Hospital and showed no activity for approximately 17 hours. Now, no activity. What is described as no activity? All right. Are we talking about there's no steps taken with it? Are we talking about no apps? Because I'm going to tell you, in this day and age, just so we're clear about something, no activity. If I was to text you, or you were to text me, or somebody was to call me, or I'm to get a notification update because I have notifications set on my phone, that's activity on the phone. And if they're able to place the phone and say that there was nothing going on for 17 hours, but the phone was left at the hospital, then that tells me that he didn't shut it off. So when they say the word activity, are we talking about walking? If that type of activity. When it says no activity, I'm interested in that terminology with everything that I know about phones. So just curious, because in a probable cause, you have to pay attention to the wording that they use. And it's very broad. So, there was no activity. No activity. Okay. Well, that can mean a lot of different things. It's so broad. But hey, guess what? He wasn't on the schedule and he left his phone there and it showed no activity for approximately 17 hours from December 29th. So in the hours that would be in December 29th until after 12 p.m. on December 30th, 2025. Again, the language there, until after 12. So they don't want to tell us the specifics there. So let's just go with 12. If you subtract 17 hours from noon, what are you getting yourself to? Okay. So let me show you what I mean. that means that if you just use 12 o'clock, that means that there'd be no activity on that phone from 5 p.m. on December 29th until December 30th at 12 noon. Okay, that's 17 hours. But they say after 12 noon, so I want to know why they're not saying the timestamp of that. And I think I know the answer to that, but it's because they don't need to. They can be vague. This is just probable cause. They don't have to. This is why they went and indicted through a grand jury. Okay, so just trying to give everybody like a. Basically, they're saying that, in my humble opinion, they're saying that, hey, this dude acted like he was so. But wait, that was what day of the week was that? That was during the week. So he acted like he was there at work at, till 5 o'clock. And then he left his device there at 5 p.m. Okay. On the 29th. And at that device, there was no activity on it until after 12 o'clock noon the next day. Okay. So bear with me here. Well, what phone are we talking about? Does he have a work phone? Is it his personal phone? What's up? His building, his house where he bought a condo. There's tons of cameras around there, like tons. So I can't wait to hear about that. 7 p.m. 17 hours, but I think you figured 19 hours in your math. It's 7 p.m. If they're saying noon, you have to back up. So 12 is 12. Then you have to 17. So that would be, I think it'd be 4. Would it be 4? That's how I did it. 4. Anyways. Let's see. Fuck it. We'll just do the math again. That's how I did it. So at noon, if you have to go back 17, if you just take it to obviously midnight the night before, you're at 12. So then you only need 5 more to get to the 17. So you're subtracting 5 from 7. 5 from, oh wait, there you go. So 7 o'clock. Is that it? There you go. $7 p.m. We've officially labeled it as 7 p.m. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. New video release of McKee in jail. Oh, is that my FOIA request? I put my FOIA in. Did they get that back to me? No way. Are you serious? I'm going to read you guys my FOIA request today. God, they're trying to just get at me every which way. These little bastards. Sent. 3:36 p.m. Good afternoon, to whom this may concern. I am seeking all cameras, body-worn dash cams, lobby cameras associated with the transport and booking of Michael D. McKee. I'm a resident of Columbus, Ohio. If there is any cause associated with this request, please let me know. Dude! God. Usually I get a response back to my FOIAs, but here we go. And they're like, go fuck yourself, Lana. Thank you, Columbus. So, hey, they're like, Lana just contacting people. And then when Lana contacts people, then we have to release the information because that broad's going to put it out on YouTube if we don't. Dude, somebody is leaking from the Franklin County Sheriff's Department, and these people. Okay, what this means to me when someone just commented that is I put a FOIA in. And when I put a FOIA in, then it alerts people, aka the people that work there, hey, this girl is requesting this. So if you guys are trying to get in front of something, give it to somebody before this girl from the internet is going to put it out there. And I'm like, you got to be shitting me. It's the same thing would happen in the guy whistling Dixie to the wrong address. And now, here we go with this. Bullshit. I bet you the news only put out a little piece, though. I'll put out the whole video. How about that? I'll put out the whole video for us to all look at. Okay. So, now, going back to right here. And this is the most important part of today. More recently, okay, Monique and Spencer Tepe, they were at the Big Ten Championship game in Indiana on December 6th, 2025, with several other couples. Monique went back to her hotel room early in the second half, okay? When identifiable friends asked Spencer, this is all hearsay, why Monique had left the game, he told them she was upset about something involving her ex-husband and was going back to the hotel room. Now, what if I called bullshit on this right here? What if I said, this is bullshit? All we need is one of you guys just to say that you said this, though, so that we can put this in there. What? Lana, that really happens in real life? Hell yeah, it does. This is what I mean. Okay. What if I call bullshit on this? Meaning, okay, let me get this straight. December 6th. Well, first of all, you probably actually traveled either in the morning on the 6th or you potentially could have went down there on the 5th if you wanted to do like a Friday, Saturday night, okay? If you're going back to the hotel, that means you still have your hotel because the game was at 8 o'clock at night. So I'm going to guess potentially they actually were like, oh, let's go actually down for the weekend. We'll go Friday. We'll go Friday night. Then the game Saturday. We'll say Friday and Saturday. But hey, maybe they did go down Saturday morning. It doesn't matter. What matters here is, to me, is that, okay, they have digital evidence, meaning they have both of their cell phones. Okay, they have emails. They could search through text messages. They can do all of these things. Okay, they interviewed the families. Okay. If Monique left during the second half of the game, a game that's a nail biter, a game that's like, it's like a big thing for a Buckeye fan. Like, you're not leaving that game. Okay. You're not leaving at the beginning of the second half. You're not leaving, the beginning of the second. You're just not doing it. Okay. So here she does, but what would have been solved by leaving? Like, you're there with all your friends. You guys have spent a shit ton of money to do this, right? And I'm going to leave. But Monique doesn't tell any of her friends why she's leaving. She just is like, disappears, more or less. Like, hey, Spencer, you came back to the seats. Where's Monique? I don't know. Something came up. She went back to the hotel room. It had something to do with her ex-husband. What? Ex-husband? Ex-husband? Like who? Like, we're talking like 9 years ago? Like, understand this dialect here, okay? We all go to the concessions during halftime. And Some people didn't go, and I come back and I'm Spencer and I'm by myself. Oh, where's Mo? Hey, she wasn't feeling well. She went back to the hotel. Wait, she wasn't feeling well. What do you mean? Nope, that wasn't said. She, so I don't know, something came up with her ex-husband, and so she went back to the hotel. You guys, that doesn't make any sense to me. Okay? Because what can be accomplished from it? By going to the hotel room, what could be accomplished from this? Think about it. There had to have been an argument about it. Let me explain. If I was to, hey, take away whatever they say that they found and saw on surveillance cameras. Take that away. Why would I leave? Hanging out with my friends, doing whatever. You're going to sit here and tell me that on December 6th, there's no Ring camera at the back door. They don't have cameras outside their own home, personal home. You're going to tell me that some neighbor of theirs was at their house on December 6th and was just watching the cameras to see, hey, somebody from over at the Tepe home, okay, somebody just hopped the fence and went over there and has been over there. I think that we should send this to Monique and Spencer. We should send this to send what? Well, we have some still shots on our cameras that you just happen to be like, you guys have to listen. The game for the Buckeyes game was at 8 p.m., 7:30, 8 p.m. So you're going to say during the game, they got a notification and sent something that, hey, so I don't know, someone just hopped the fence and they've been in your yard. Might want to check your cameras or something like that. Okay, because we got an alert because we get alerts to our phone when our camera goes off. So we just happen to see it and okay, wait, what's that? That would alarm both people. Like, wait, what do you mean and then the other thing that you would do is call the cops. Call the cops if somebody jumped over our fence to get into our yard. Or, hey, our camera hasn't alerted anything. We don't have, hey, back rear door, blah, 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 or this, that, the other. It would be if two people are having a conversation about possibly seeing video surveillance cameras that were provided to them by the neighbors. Okay, let's just have the cops. Call the cops. Call the cops. Then this is going to be the next part. Okay. If this is true that Monique left the game because to do with something with her, that's how Spencer said it to friends. Okay. Well, how do I say this? During 10 days of having no arrest of anybody, right? Then even after then, the arrest of McKee, right? Okay. Why didn't the family ever say that? Why didn't the family ever say, we were just hanging out with them at Christmas and God, they were like, oh my God, Spencer didn't think it was Mike dressed in all garb like this, walking and acting like an idiot and jumping into our yard. And I'm like, oh my God, that's totally Mike. You don't understand. And I was like, we need to call the police. And he's like, what? No, that's probably some bum, blah, blah, blah. But that would have come up in conversation, don't you think? You've been scared shitless because of this guy for how long? Spencer's been so sensitive to your feelings about everything that you've been through. But here at the biggest game of the season, something happens at this game to kick off the second half, and Monique's going back by herself, doesn't tell any friends because it didn't come out of her mouth as to why she left. It was relayed that way by the friends saying that this is what Spencer said. And then everything that we would know about Spencer to be like, wait, how is she going to get back to the hotel room? Is it an Uber type of drive? Are we staying so close to the stadium that we could walk? All of these things. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense the way that it's being said like this. Okay. And this is what cops do, though. They're going to take the portion of the witness statement because the portion, all they need is the witness to just say something. And then I've seen this one too many times. And then we're going to create how we want to put this in a paragraph. Okay. So let me put my little spin on this for everybody. You have to take out. So this person says, maybe Monique's phone shows McKee tried to contact her on 12/6. You would just be able to say that, though, in the probable cause. That would not require anything of this nature right here. In the probable cause, you would just be able to say that. Okay? That's the whole point, is that I don't think that that's there. Okay? Otherwise, in probable cause, you would not have to go this route, which is, let me show you again. More recently, while Monique and Spencer Tepe were at the Big Ten championship game in Indiana on December 6, 2025, with several other couples, period. That's not even a complete sentence. Read that one more time for everybody. Everybody's just assuming that they were speaking. Okay, so this is dangerous territory. Okay, this is dangerous territory where the cops went with how they want to do this probable cause. But hey, what I mean by dangerous territory, the title of my live is Any Reasonable Doubt for McKee. Is there any reasonable doubt here? His lawyer is currently on a case out of Florida, Shanna Gardner, which I'm going to be talking about here right after this live. Shanna Gardner is a case that I've been covering. It's Jared Bridegan, Shanna Gardner. They were married. They got divorced. 5 years later, if not longer, however long it was, let's see, 2014, then he was shot into it. It's a very similar case but they had kids and it was a contentious divorce, but they got to a point that I think it was, what it looked like is that stuff was being, it was calmed down. It had calmed down. But it was over twins that they had, and Jared Bridegan was gunned down and shot, just him, when he was dropping off the twins. But in the back seat was one of their new half sisters, who was in the back seat when Jared was gunned down. And they said he was ambushed and that Shanna Bryner orchestrated a murder for hire plot. Okay. And so Jose Baez is on that case right now, and that's going to be going to trial this summer. We've been covering the case. And Diane was brought just recently in on the case in 2025, right before the holidays. Right before the holidays of 2025. She was brought in. When I say the holidays, I'm looking more towards like, maybe it was actually the summer of 2025 now that I think about it. But anyways, Jose and Diane have developed a nice friendship. They work well together. And Jose Baez gave her one of the best compliments any lawyer could ever give another, brother counsel. So, but it's a very similar case as far as ex-husband type, ex-wife type stuff like that. But in that case, it was a murder for hire. Okay. So here we are. And if you take a look right here, I want you guys to really focus in. So more recently, they go to the Big Ten championship game in Indiana on December 6th, 2025 with several other couples. Monique went back to her hotel room early in the second half. When identifiable friends ask Spencer's supposed to be friends that actually went to that game with them. That's who this information is coming from. This is not coming from any family. This is what zeroed me in on this. I said, okay, when identifiable friends asked Spencer why Monique had left the game, he told them she was upset about something involving her ex-husband and was going back to the hotel. Well, that'd be one source. Where's the family in on that? You're going to sit here and tell me that she leaves a Big Ten championship game in the beginning of the second half over something? Like, dude, that rises to a level. If it is about what they're going to say, they're going to correlate to is, hey, December 6th, look it, we have the same vehicle that we see on December 30th and this suspicious person, same suspect that we have on December 30th. We have them there on December 6th. Wait, what? Interesting. Okay. And you're going to sit here and tell me that none of the family knew about this? Michael is dangerous, right? Don't you think if Michael just pops back up, and if I was to grab Spencer and be like, dude, you're not getting this. This is serious, right? Or at least entertain me to enough that we're going to call the cops at some point, whether we call them when we're in or in Indiana at the game or when we get back, right? But what? Now, Lightning Eyes makes a very good point, right? I definitely would have left a football game if something freaked me out because I wouldn't want to cry and act weird in public, right? Okay. Well, how about this, Lightning Eyes? What would you tell your family who came and rescued you and got you out of that environment? Would you tell them about it? Would you tell your family about that? I know I would. Especially if my children are with my family, depending on who's babysitting my kids, whoever babysits my kids, whether it's just even on that weekend or if my kids ever go to grandma and grandpa's, whoever my kids would ever be with, right? We have to make sure that everybody knows about this because for safety reasons. And I would think to God, I mean, wow. What time of night was this? Was this way earlier? Was it something that happened earlier and maybe we didn't see eye to eye on this, but it's everybody, all the friends knew about that Michael is such a monster. This is no big secret, right? So to break down and cry in front of friends that you're really good friends with, unless you're at the game with people that you really aren't that good of friends with, and you're like, I don't want to do this in front of them, so I'm going to just leave. And if that's the case, then Spencer would have covered for her and said, she doesn't feel well, right? To not draw attention to it. And maybe Spencer actually did. What if somebody's phone died while at the game? And then they had to start texting from somebody else's phone to make sure that Monique was okay. Because, hey, did you get back to the hotel okay? My phone died. And they start texting about stuff. And then that's how, here, this is actually, they used my phone. Take a look. I don't know. They were sharing text messages. Who knows? All I can tell you, though, is that we were on this case since jump. And we have never once heard anything like this. That on December 6th, nothing. They were at the Big Ten championship game. And can you believe this? But it made its way into the probable cause. And usually how stuff like this is what Diane's going to go after. Is this truly what the witnesses said? Or are the cops fucking fudging shit? Okay? You have to understand, Diane is really good at her job. Very good at her job. I'm sorry, I think that she's one of the best. And Columbus police, I'm urging you to do it by the book. Because if there's anybody out there that is going to highlight and give this man any chance at reasonable doubt, it's her. And then if she brings in a team because he can afford it, you would roll with the public defender's office if you were trying to, like, I don't know, cut some deal and plead out. That's not what I see here. He went out and got the best. How did he even know about Diane? Who told him about Diane? What type of how does he even know to call Diane? So I'm saying that there is some issues here with this whole. He told them she was upset about something involving her ex-husband and was going back to the hotel. And this statement and whatever never makes its way to a police station, never makes its way to any of the family. This person says other inmates would be like, you need to get Diane. He was in Chi-Town. He was over there in Winnebago. He was pushing his Winnebago around. So I'm going to put a little spin on this for you, and you guys can take what you want from it. Because I'm looking at all angles here. Okay. Again, I believe that this would have been very simple to not have to use anything what the witnesses were saying or to corroborate what the witnesses were saying by talking about phones and stuff like that, by saying, here's an email, here's texts, here's pictures that were sent. Yeah. I would like to know more about the event surrounding was Monique supposed to just be going? I mean, to everything to do with December 6th. Who was originally supposed to be going to that game? Was it just going to be like a guy's trip that turned into a girl's trip and a guy's trip? Was it always supposed to be those original couples? You usually have to get your tickets. I mean, I say like in advance, but until you like win the games, you don't know if your team is playing in it. So I would want to know everything to do about the planning of the Big Ten championship. Okay. That's number one. Who was supposed to originally be going and who was, not going? What was the status on the equipment in the house in terms of surveillance? Okay. I believe that he went there, if it wasn't just on the December 6th, times even between that or before it, between December 6th and December 30th, as well as before December 6th, if you were truly plotting to, kill somebody or kill multiple people. And then what I hate to bring this back up, but I want to talk about the car that was parked outside. Lana, what car? Well, the family car that was out there that was her sister's or her sister's husband's, Monique's sister's husband. I was like, that still just bothers me for some reason. But that's for another live. Is there reasonable doubt? Well, I have so many reasons to question everything that happened on December 6th. And to the point of when you are out and about at big events like that, your cell service absolutely sucks to the point that you're not even getting text messages. You're not going to be getting picture messages. You're not able to see anything. So do I believe that while they were at that game, something was sent to them by their neighbors? I don't. No, I don't at all. I don't believe that was it at all. I believe that if Monique and Spencer were to separate at that event, there was a discussion and she was seeing it one way and he was seeing it another way, whatever it could have been. And who knows? Maybe Spencer was calling her out saying X, Y, and Z. They had because I'm trying to understand why Monique would not be telling her family about if it had to do with Michael and it had to do with him coming back to that area and him being on some surveillance camera and it spooked the living shit out of her. You'd be telling your family about that. There's no doubt in my mind. You told your family about it. And they came to get you, right? And bring you back from Virginia. So, but if you didn't tell your family, then there would be something that you were embarrassed of to tell your family about, to include Spencer's side, right? This did not get brought up at all, ever. It's never been mentioned. Well, people don't usually talk about things that are, if it's a, hey, this is a safety issue versus is this a different issue? Think about it. You understand what I'm saying before just like blurting it out? If I was to be in an argument with my ex about my husband about my ex, okay? Something's wrong with this. This doesn't make any sense. You're scared to death of this man. If it would have been told to Monique that here's some surveillance cameras, whether it was on the 6th that you got it or the 7th or the 8th, because you sat down with your neighbors and they were like, oh, here, blah, blah, this is what it recorded. You're not going to talk to your family about it? You're not going to say, hey, Spencer doesn't think this is him, but look at this. Do you not think that this is Mike hopping over the fence? Look at this bastard. Okay? Or coming up to the front, wherever the cameras caught, the surveillance caught him. Okay? If that is truly how this would have sparked any type of talk where he's being insensitive to how I'm feeling about this, and this is some serious shit, okay? And I'm telling you, this man's fucking psycho, and if that was him jumping over it, like, is he there to case the joint? Who knows? And Spencer's over here like, dude, you are seriously, you're talking off your rocker shit, man. But how would this not come out to the family? This would have been like, here, you guys tell me, what do you think? Do you think that this is this piece of shit hopping over? Do you think this is this? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? How does it not come up in conversation? And how do I believe that it didn't come up in conversation? Because this right here, the way that it has to get put into the probable cause. I watch these people write way too many of these. This is interesting to me that they have to do it this way. More recently, while Monique and Spencer were at the Big Ten championship game in Indiana on December 6th, 2025, with several other couples, Monique went back to her hotel room early in the second half. When unidentifiable friends asked Spencer why Monique had left the game, why did they have to ask him why she left? Why didn't they ask her? Think about that, guys. I don't need to ask unless you're going there and you don't really know those people who you went to the game with. But wait, why wouldn't she be telling her friends, hey guys, I just don't feel good. I'm going to head back. Like my head, I have a migraine or whatever. She basically disappears. She's not telling her friends anything. Spencer has to do the test. Now think about how it goes when you're out with your group of friends and you get into a fight with your person and, oh, where's the, oh, she went back to the hotel room. She just, she wasn't feeling well. Nope, that's not what's said. And Monique doesn't give it, but he then says it's something to do with her ex. So either the cops are totally making this part up and that's what they said that she went back there for. And they're just changing the fact that no, what was said was that she didn't feel good. And she went back there because she didn't feel good. But hey, that's not good enough for the cops. So let's go ahead and put this in. You'll just say that Spencer told you this. Or is somebody making that up? I have no idea, but this makes absolutely no sense because it would come out to the family as well, in my opinion. And if it doesn't come out to the family, in terms of like Monique and or Spencer talking about the fact that, hey, Michael McKee is back in our fucking lives. Like, that's a pretty serious thing because this guy is psycho. And then what happens 20 days later? Both of them are murdered. Occam's razor. If Monique left the Buckeyes game at the beginning of the second half, there was an argument that was had. And yes, it could have been about Michael McKee. Okay, but what was it about? 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 What was it maybe the neighbors had noticed that, yeah, I noticed that silver car coming around. Yeah, I noticed this and I noticed that. And who knows? I'm saying that this case is, I think, going to take some very interesting turns because of this paragraph. This paragraph causes me lots of pause. I think she did not tell Spencer at all. He seems like he would have been with her. But that's the thing. Spencer is the one that mentions to even say, I'm going to tell friends that it has to do with her ex. If Spencer would be protecting her, so he should be telling friends that she's going back because she doesn't feel good, if because she doesn't want to have like some type of a panic attack in front of people that she just met, because she has anxiety, because she gets jumpy, because, oh my God, now she's all paranoid and I want to see where the kids are and I'm going to call my mom and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Right? Spencer would be protecting her. So Spencer would be saying things like, she doesn't feel good. She went back to the room and she said just to stay here because, hey, I'm fine. I'm going back to the room. I don't feel good. We're not going to ruin I don't want to ruin everybody's time. So I'm going to head back. I don't feel good. My stomach hurts. Like I ate that fucking chili dog and now I can't stop shitting. Like, let's be real. Stuff can happen. So I would think that Spencer would be saying that, like, she doesn't feel good. She had a headache before we even, came here. You guys know that, and blah, blah, blah. But here, oh, nope, she left the game because of her ex. It's like, wait, what? Hold on. For Spencer to tell friends about the ex on December 6th and Spencer not mention anything to do with the ex at, I don't know, Christmas when they were with family for a couple days, people that he is super close with, like, well, who's he super close with? Who did he ever confide in? To be like, can you believe this motherfucker trying to hop over my motherfucking fence? I mean, come on, people. Let's use our little fucking brains. Something isn't right with it. And I'm here to let you guys know that if there's anybody that's going to sniff out these inconsistencies, it's going to be somebody like, and they didn't know that McKee was going to go get Diane. Okay. See, like this type of stuff. Maybe Mike threatened her kids if she told anybody what? You guys aren't understanding. Spencer, read the paper. Spencer told friends at the game because Monique left. She didn't tell. This doesn't say, Monique told me that why she left. This says, Monique didn't come back. We're wondering, where's Monique? It's the beginning of the second half. Like, come on, go Buckeyes. We're all, woo, let's do some shots, baby. Buckeyes. Wait, Spencer, where's Mo? Oh, she doesn't feel good. She went back. She didn't want to ruin our time. She doesn't feel good. That's what she would do, right? No, I'm going to say she went back to the hotel room. I don't know. It's something about her ex. What? Something about her ex? What are you talking about? And all the friends are just like, oh, okay, go Buckeyes. Like, nobody says like something about her ex. Nobody's texting her. None of her friends are like, what's going on? What do you mean you like, where are you? Are you like, well, and none of the girls that were part of the couples were like, wait, she just left by herself in an Uber or what? Like, come on, you guys, when cops pick and choose these little sentences to put in, this is when you have to ask yourself a lot of questions. It's like this is the Dylan part of it. And it's not that the friends are lying. It's when cops, I bet you her friend is reading this right now, whoever said this, and it's probably like, that is totally not how this happened. Or how about this part where this whole asphyxiation and shit like that. And these other friends are probably just like, if they're saying I said that, that is not what we said. So please understand that everybody wants to talk about this amazing evidence that they have. Read that probable cause again. Read that probable cause. When I say probable cause, read this and read this. I thought we had a bullet matching. I thought we had, well, that was probable cause for what? We didn't get the bullet yet. We didn't know, this was just for us to what? Arrest him. Well, you're arresting him on 4 counts of murder. Okay. Well, yeah, because that sticker and that, huh? Okay. We'll see you guys in the next one. Last paragraph, huge problem. Mark my words, huge problem. Mark my words. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you, moderators. Appreciate you guys. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me give a shout out to Moon River Darling, new member. Shake it. Get my bell out. Let me get my bell. New member. Bella is in Wonderland. Shake it. Steph, welcome, girl. And then lube it up. Does that say Lubio, Lubelo? I like lube it up. Lube it up. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much. We love you here. Keeping it real all the way.